Hello, dear friends. Ken Graves here with God's Sword. Friday, June 14th, the year 2024. My life has been busy. Please forgive me. I'm doing my best to keep up with the study, and I'm failing, but I appreciate those of you who are still there with me. I'm going through HOSEA, the second chapter on this 14th day of June. HOSEA chapter 2. In HOSEA chapter 1, we were told that the Lord moved upon a man, a prophet named HOSEA, called him to marry a prostitute, to marry a woman of harlotry. Her name was Gomer. HOSEA and Gomer, they married. Children were given. And of course, you will remember that the first was a son. And Yahweh said, name him Jezreel. For a little while now, this is the bloodshed of Jezreel, so scattered. The second was a daughter. And Yahweh said, name her Lo Ruhamah. Lo Ruhamah. No mercy, no compassion. There was a third child, and that was Lo Ami, not my people. Name these children, HOSEA, these names. And so he did. Chapter 2, verse 1. Say to your brothers, Ami, and to your sisters, Ruhamah. Say to them, to your brother, not my people, say, my people, Ami. To your sister, Ruhamah, Lo Ruhamah, say, Ruhamah, compassion, mercy. Contend with your mother, contend. For she is not my wife, and I am not her husband. And let her remove her harlotry from her face, and her adultery from between her breasts, lest I strip her naked, and set her forth as on the day when she was born, and make her like a wilderness. Make her like dry land, and put her to death with thirst. The warning that God speaks with regard to this northern kingdom to the prophet HOSEA, speaking to the children, changing their names from no mercy to mercy or compassion, and from not my people to my people. But God calls Israel to repent, even as HOSEA is calling Gomer, his unfaithful wife. You know, the sad thing about this, and I said this in the last study, that if, in fact, HOSEA is truly going to play the part that God has called him to, play the part of God in this marriage, God in his marriage to Israel, then HOSEA has to actually love Gomer. He has to actually have a broken heart, as God does. If he's going to play the part, he's got to be genuine. This is not just some charade, it's real. That the love HOSEA has for Gomer would resemble the love that God has for his people of the northern kingdom, his people Israel. That means all that's not written here, that you can only then imagine the broken heart, the zeal, the jealousy that poor HOSEA experiences, demonstrating the love, good kind of jealousy that God has for his people Israel. So he extends a warning. God extends a warning. Let her remove her harlotry from her face and her adultery from between her breasts. It's the face that is constantly luring. It is between the breasts that place where she would embrace the lover, not her husband. But God says, lest I strip her naked, it was on the day when she was born, make her a wilderness, make her like a dry land, and put her to death with thirst. Then also, verse 4, also I will have no compassion on her children, because they are children of harlotry. For their mother has played the harlot. She who conceived them has acted shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers, who give me my bread and my water, my wool, my flax, my oil, and my drink. This is a real tragedy. And I don't know exactly how it worked out with Hosea and Gomer. But I really believe that there was a parallel. That somehow or another, in the details, I'm not clear, Gomer began to think that all that she had been provided by her prostitution, that all that she had been provided by these lovers. But what she does not know, even as estranged and prodigal Israel, unfaithful Israel, did not know that everything that she has was provided by Yahweh. That everything she was thanking her lovers for, that Israel is thanking idols for and false gods for, had been given to her by the true and living God. And then God said, therefore, in verse 6, therefore I will hedge up her way with thorns, and will build a wall against her so that she cannot find her paths. So she will pursue her lovers, but she will not overtake them. She'll seek them, but not find them. Then she will say, I will go and will return to my first husband, for it was better for me than now. Now, somehow or another, in this tragic love that Hosea has for Gomer, I'm convinced that the same thing happened. God said he would hedge up the way of his estranged with thorns, that circumstances would be orchestrated by him so that there is nowhere to go without running it. A hedge of thorns was an ancient fence, a planted hedge with big thorns would prevent penetration of that fence. God said, I'll do that. I will, like, almost picture it like a cattle chute that narrows and narrows. I'll hedge up her way with thorns, his statement. And I'll build a wall against her so she cannot find her path. That God would work in the circumstances of his people Israel, so that there is nowhere to go except to him. And I don't know how that worked out with Hosea, but he does. I believe that Hosea had all along continued to love Gomer and continued to provide, continued to labor, and somehow deliver, somehow continue to pay her bills and leave resources for her. She thanked others for what he had given. I think the shame would ultimately be discovered by her, how wrong she'd been. And God says of Israel, I'm going to bring her to the place where nobody else wants her. She pursues them, but she can't find her lovers and overtake them. And she'll say, I'm going to return to my first husband. And verse 8, now she does not know that it was I who gave her the grain, the new wine, and the oil, and multiplied silver and gold for her, which they used for Baal. In other words, everything that I provided, God says, they have offered in offerings to Baal. Everything that Hosea had provided for Gomer, somehow or another, she'd used them for her lovers. In verse 9, therefore I will take back my grain at harvest time, my new wine in its season. I will also deliver my wool, my flax, from them, given to cover her nakedness. So now I will uncover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and no one will deliver her out of my hand. I will also seize all her joy, her feasts, her new moons, her Sabbaths, and all her appointed times. I will make desolate her vines and fig trees, of which she said, these are my wages, which my lovers have given me. And I will make them a forest, and the beast of the field will devour them. So I will visit the days of the Baals upon her, when she used to offer offerings and smoke to them, and adorn herself with earrings and jewelry, and go after lovers, so that she forgot me, declares Yahweh. So God, he expresses his intention of what he will do. That he will take back all that he provided. And so Israel would find herself poor, without all of those things that she had wrongly thanked pagan gods for. And then ultimately, the statement, I will uncover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, that God would expose Israel. I don't know how this worked out with Hosea, but it will. The story of Hosea, the story of Gomer. Gomer actually ends up in the 3rd chapter for sale as a slave. So clearly this had all happened. It had all happened. She came to a place of terrible humiliation and ruin, naked. And the one who actually loved her came to buy her. Verse 14, therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak to her heart. David Guzik points out the contrast between the pagan gods. They want their followers to fear them, versus Yahweh, who wants his people to love him. I will allure her. I will allure. Not drive, not even drag. I will allure. I will win her heart. Bring her into the wilderness and speak to her, and I will give her her vineyards from there. In the valley of Achor as a door of hope. The valley of Achor has a famous history because of the sin of Achan, the judgment of God that happened there, where his sin was discovered. It's such a place. God said, I'll make it a door of hope. And she will sing there as in the days of her youth, as in the day when she came up from the land of Egypt. And it will be in that day, declares Yahweh, that you call me Ishi, you call me my husband. And will no longer call me Be'ali, my master. God does not want that kind of relationship with his wife, Israel. It suggests to me that in the real life story of Hosea and Gomer, that initially she responded to him as, you're my master, Baali. But the day would come when Gomer would say, you are my husband. They would win her. So I will remove the names of the Baals from her mouth, so that they will be remembered by their names no more. And in that day I will cut a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, the birds of the sky, the creeping things of the ground. And I will break the bow, sword, and war from the land. I will make them lie down in security. That, dear friends, is a reverence to what God is going to do in revealing himself through the person of Christ, second coming of Christ. He will reveal himself to Israel. He will allure them, even to a place of the wilderness during the tribulation, fleeing from Antichrist and his declaration of war against them, into Jordan, into a desert. The Lord is going to reveal himself to Israel in such a way as what he speaks of here. And even the beasts of the field, the birds of the sky, creeping things of the ground. The war between predator and prey will come to an end. The beautiful promises that are attached to the description of the millennial reign of Christ. Verse 19, I will betroth you to me forever. Indeed, I will betroth you to me in righteousness and in justice, in loving kindness and in compassion, and I will betroth you to me in faithfulness. And you will know that I am Yahweh. And it will be in that day that I will answer, declares Yahweh. I will answer the heavens, and they will answer the earth, and the earth will answer the grain, the new wine, the oil, and they will answer Jezreel. The first name of his first child, Hosea's first child, scattered. It would have a negative meaning, but now it would be given a new and good meaning. Scattered like seed, replanting, reseeding world that experienced the judgment of God. Yeah, Jezreel. They will answer Jezreel, and I will sow for myself in the land. I will also have compassion on her who had not obtained compassion. He goes back to the names. Lo Ruhamah, no, I will have compassion. You are Ruhamah. And I will say to those who are not my people, Lo Ami, no, you will be Ami, my people. You are my people. And they will say to me, and they will say, that is, you are my God. So the promise that God will reveal himself to Israel, he will reveal himself, they will receive him, and the world, the whole of creation will be affected by this. There will be peace. And as the words of Isaiah, men will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks, and they'll learn war no more. There'll be peace. Hallelujah. Praise to his name. Here's our study for today. I'll try to catch up. If you have questions, comments, criticism, Ken Graves at ccbangor.org. Dear brothers and sisters, as the Lord's day approaches, do make plans to gather with his people, okay? Go to church this week and be the church. And go there to be a blessing, okay? Not receive one. Go to be a blessing. All right, grace and peace to you all.